YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated, newly crowned unified lightweight world champion, Australian star boxer George Kambosos Jr. Just a few days ago, he gave undefeated WBC lightweight world champion superstar boxer Devin "The Dream" Haney 27 wins, no losses, no draws, 15 wins by way of knockout, 23 years of age, 5'8", with a 72-inch arm reach. Well, we know George Kambosos Jr. was going above and beyond to extend the olive leaf to two-time Olympic gold medalist, three-division world champion, former unified lightweight world champion, Ukrainian superstar boxer Vasily Lomachenko for the fight. He went above and beyond to try to secure a fight with Lomachenko. Okay, this is what George Kambosos did. And so, with that said, Lomachenko's on the front lines as he's dealing with an unfortunate situation in the Ukraine as they're trying to fend off Russia. Okay, they're going back and forth. Okay, so Vasily Lomachenko decided that he wasn't going to accept the opportunity to face off against George Kambosos Jr. in Australia June 5th. That he's going to stay in the Ukraine and stay 10 toes down and defend the soil that he's from. Okay, and so with that said, George Kambosos Jr., he states that it was always between Devin Haney and Lomachenko. Lomachenko, 16 wins, 2 losses, no draws, 11 wins by way of knockout, 33 years of age, 5'6", with a 66-inch arm reach. 2 losses already on his resume, okay? And so with that said, he stated it was always between Lomachenko and Devin Haney, okay? After he shocked the world, November 20th, 27th, defeating former unified lightweight world champion, superstar boxer Teofimo Lopez. When Vasily Lomachenko has informed them that he's not interested in taking the option, taking the offer, okay, he stated that immediately they made the offer to Devin Haney, okay? Now, what's interesting is George Kambosos Jr., he was looking to fight in April, okay? He was looking to get back in the ring in April as he fought Teofimo Lopez November 27th, okay? So with that said, now, immediately, we just found out that Vasily Lomachenko is not coming back to the States. He's going to stay in Ukraine. We just found that out on Monday, Tuesday, okay? Already now, George Kambosos Jr. has decided that Devin Haney had 72 hours to sign a contract to face off against George Kambosos Jr. in Australia, because he stated that Devin Haney, he stated on numerous occasions that he would take the deal Lomachenko was taking. So now he said he had 72 hours, 3 days, to sign the contract. He's giving him a deadline. But you didn't give Lomachenko a deadline. But you're saying that the fans and the people that are saying that you're trying to avoid Devin Haney are incorrect. But yet, you're giving Devin Haney a deadline. You didn't give Vasily Lomachenko a deadline. You were looking to get back in the ring in April and couldn't make a decision because essentially you were waiting on Vasily Lomachenko to make a decision and try to get the fight between Vasily Lomachenko and yourself. I didn't hear no deadline with Lomachenko. So as soon as you make a official offer to Devin Haney, father, trainer, manager, CEO of DHP, Devin Haney Promotion, Bill Haney, and Matchroom CEO and promoter Eddie Hearn, who co-promotes with DHP, you then give them a deadline? The hourglass is ticking on a decision from them? Why would the hourglass be ticking? Okay? We know that the higher-ups dealing with George Kambosos Jr. gave George Kambosos Jr. a deadline, right? To make a decision as to who he was going to fight next so that they could begin to promote and negotiate and get everything done, right? And so with that said, we know that you were looking to face off against Lomachenko, but that's no longer on the table. So since Lomachenko is no longer on the table and it's Devin Haney, then what's the rush? everybody has a clear understanding as to what's next, right? So he states that there's many people that are interested in the fight, and so Devin Haney has to hurry up and make a decision. He don't understand what's so hard about Devin Haney making a decision on his fight, because Devin Haney stated that he would agree to what Vasily Lomachenko has agreed to, right? So, making an interesting point, Bill Haney, he states that they need to see the contract and the offer that was accepted by Vasily Lomachenko. They don't have a problem with accepting what Vasily Lomachenko accepted, but you're not going to give us a contract and say this is what Vasily Lomachenko accepted without us seeing exactly what he accepted. Because you can say Vasily Lomachenko accepted $500,000 in a 2-fight deal. Well, how will we know Vasily Lomachenko accepted $500,000 in a 2-fight deal if I can't see the actual contract and paperwork with his John Hancock, his signature on said paperwork? How would I know what he accepted if I can't see what he accepted? So Bill Haney is saying that he and Eddie Hearn just want to see the paperwork that was accepted by Vasily Lomachenko. Or they have to negotiate their own terms for the fight without what Lomachenko accepted. And it was being reported that Vasily Lomachenko had accepted a 2-fight deal where if he beat George Kambosos Jr., the immediate rematch would be in Australia again against George Kambosos Jr. So essentially, it's a one-way rematch clause, right? If George Kambosos Jr. loses to Lomachenko in Australia, the initial fight is going to be in Australia. So the second fight, if George Kambosos loses, is going to have to be in Australia as well. That was what being reported. Now, George Kambosos Jr. is saying that Devin Haney's run out of time. It's time to make a decision within today or tomorrow. Now, we know that the higher-ups dealing with George Kambosos Jr. gave George Kambosos Jr. until tomorrow, Friday, right? They stated that he has until Friday to announce who his opponent was. But on the contrary to popular belief, they gave him to announce who his opponent was. We know who his opponent is going to be. He's not still mulling over who his opponent is going to be, because we know who his opponent is going to be. It's going to be Devin Haney, right? So with that said, he's saying now that the time has ran out and he has to make a decision right now, trying to put pressure on Devin Haney. He started to talk about how long the flight is to Australia. He started to talk about don't back out now. He put up pictures talking about Devin Haney, all dogs bark behind the gate, but when you open the gate, are they actual dogs? Are they actually going to come out and, pursue what they've been doing behind the gate, right? Put a picture of a dog, pit bull up with Devin Haney's face on it, right? So you're trying to pressure him. To me, that seems like nervous energy, right? You got backed into a corner where Lomachenko, and I believe that Lomachenko had a 2-fight deal because they're more than happy to fight Vasily Lomachenko. I think Lomachenko would have taken that deal. But now he's saying that he don't want a 2-fight deal. He just won 1 fight to, stop all the talk of Devin Haney, end the reign of Devin Haney and then move on. So he don't need a rematch clause, which is cool, right? But why are you saying that Devin Haney's time is up? Why did you give him a 72-hour window to begin with? Why did you even say that? Whether his team is behind that or not, whether that's just coming from George Kambosos Jr., playing the games, regardless if he is or if he isn't, right? Why would George Kambosos Jr. say that Devin Haney had 72 hours? For what? I never saw for a second him saying that Vasily Lomachenko had 72 hours to make a decision. He had 72 hours to make a decision, or he wasn't going to land the fight. Well, why would you give Devin Haney that ultimatum? Why would Devin Haney have to receive the ultimatum of 72 hours? And now why are you coming out saying that Devin Haney has to sign now or move on? And a possibility that you looking to fight undefeated 3-division world champion superstar boxer Gervonta Tank Davis. Why? Why are you putting a deadline on a fight with Devin Haney? So he gives Devin Haney an ultimatum, says Devin Haney has to sign within today or tomorrow, or he's going to move on. There's many people that's looking for the fight. I believe the fight is going to happen. George Kambosos Jr. is posturing because George Kambosos Jr. is having a bit of nervous energy. He knows that Devin Haney's length, his movement, his boxing ability is going to give him tons of problems. He watched Devin Haney up close. He knows that Devin Haney has respectable power, regardless of what people say, that he doesn't have power. He don't have punch resistance. You know, he's a tall order. He's very rangy, about 5'9" now, with a 72-inch arm reach, very long arms, very quick feet. He's not a stationary target like Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez is more of a stationary target, okay? Teofimo Lopez was fighting very flat-footed. The entire night, Teofimo Lopez was looking for one punch, okay? Just trying to land a power punch. He didn't respect the skills or the talent of George Kambosos Jr. He overlooked George Kambosos Jr. in the fight, okay? And he never made any adjustments to George Kambosos Jr., what George Kambosos Jr. Could and couldn't do, okay? It was abundantly clear that Teofimo Lopez underestimated George Kambosos Jr. And the quickness, the hand speed of George Kambosos Jr., and more importantly, the relentlessness of George Kambosos Jr. George Kambosos Jr. is a competitor at the highest level, okay? He wasn't just going to lay down for Teofimo Lopez, and Teofimo Lopez standing in a shoulder roll, flat-footed or high guard, and trying to walk George Kambosos Jr. down with no adjustments, with no plan B. That wasn't going to work with George Kambosos Jr. I think that Teofimo Lopez believed the hype that it was a wash, as his promoter, legendary promoter, top-ranked CEO and promoter Bob Arum was saying, that it was a wash. It was an easy fight for Teofimo Lopez. George Kambosos Jr. is not a good fighter. That's the reason why top-ranked ESPN and Bob Arum weren't willing to put up the money for this fight, okay? George Kambosos was the mandatory challenger for Teofimo Lopez, and Bob Arum was not happy, and he felt like they were in cahoots and colluded, allegedly, to allow the fight to go to a purse bid to get the biggest purse possible, okay? He's not a big believer in George Kambosos Jr. George Kambosos has very fast hands. He's relentless. Okay, he has boxing ability. He can box. Okay, he has a ring IQ. And so Teofimo Lopez's style of just standing in front of George Kambosos Jr., trying to walk him down, and he was almost successful because it still ended in a split decision. He still dropped George Kambosos in the 10th round. He was still putting a lot of pressure on him physically and mentally, but he wasn't able to close the show. Okay, George Kambosos, he won in a basic manner. Jab, left hook, overhand right, and jab to the solar plex, right? And Teofimo Lopez had no answer for it. George Kambosos Jr. is abundantly aware that, Devin Haney is much more rangier than Teofimo Lopez, okay, who has short arms. Teofimo Lopez has 68-inch arm reach. Devin Haney has 4-inch arm reach advantage over Teofimo Lopez. He has faster hands than Teofimo Lopez. Ultimately, he has faster feet than Teofimo Lopez. So George Kambosos Jr. herky-jerky style, darting in and out, and being able to maneuver around Teofimo Lopez when Teofimo Lopez was just flat-footed and trying to walk him down, and Teofimo Lopez couldn't find him. That's not going to work with Devin Haney. Devin Haney will find you, and your range, the judge of distance of range. George Kambosos is 5'9", but he has short arms at 69-inch arm. Devin Haney has a 3-inch arm reach, so he has a slightly longer arms than Teofimo Lopez, but Devin Haney has extensively longer arms than he does, okay? So Devin Haney, the range that he has to be in to find Devin Haney, or Devin Haney to find him, is completely different, and Devin Haney has faster hands and faster feet as well. He's just a more rangy, quicker twitch fiber boxer than Teofimo Lopez. His counterpunch ability is quicker than Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez's counterpunch ability was predictable to George Kambosos Jr. He could see it coming. But even seeing it coming, Teofimo Lopez was able to drop him. So imagine if you don't see the punches coming, okay? I'm not saying that Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez has more power than Devin Haney does, right? Because he sit down on his punches more than Devin Haney does. Okay, Devin Haney is moving he's using movement and lateral movement and north and south movement when he's throwing his power punches. Every now and then he sits down on his punches, but even then it's still in a movement manner, where Teofimo Lopez is completely stationary, standing flat foot and delivering from the hips and from the legs his power, okay? That's the reason why he had trouble finding George Kambosos Jr. That won't be the case with Devin Haney, and George Kambosos Jr. understands that. He's very well aware of that. When he looks at Lomachenko, Lomachenko has trouble when you backing him up. But Lomachenko is a not very big guy. George Kambosos is 3 inches taller than him. He has a 3-inch arm reach advantage over him, and he's just as quick as Vasily Lomachenko, okay? So he's more confident in that fight. Now, you know, obviously Vasily Lomachenko has quick feet like Devin Haney. He's not as rangy, okay? And Lomachenko has been beaten before. We saw this that puzzle solved twice on numerous occasions. We saw Teofimo Lopez solve that puzzle, and he just beat Teofimo Lopez. So he's very confident that he can beat Vasily Lomachenko, but that's still a tough fight for George Kambosos Jr. as well, okay? I don't think that he can beat Devin Haney, nor can he beat Vasily Lomachenko. So he sees the tough task in Devin Haney. That's the reason why he's trying to get in his head. He's trying to play every game possible. He's trying to give him every ultimatum. He wants every advantage possible, and that's where he's going with this, point blank and period. So let's see how this unfolds. I believe it'll get done. I believe that that Devin Haney and George Kambosos Jr. will face off against one another. It's June 4th in the States, June 5th in Australia. So let's see how everything plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all in one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Wow.